What's going on, DMG Clan? Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to play multiplayer Citra emulation with your Steam Deck alongside the DNA Duo. What a good time to be alive at the start of 2025! I don't know why I did that. That's right, mobile gamers. So today, I'm going to show you guys how to set up multiplayer with Citra. Now, this version of Citra is Pablo MK7's version of Citra, which hasn't been updated since about September 27th, 2024, it seems. So if you found another version that actually has this feature in it, like Lime 3DS or something, as I couldn't find a version of Lime 3DS that has this feature, then go ahead and use that because it should work just the same. However, this version is Pablo MK7's version that has this feature built in. Now, what we need to do first is actually go and download this version. Yes, we're going to be using the Steam Deck today for this to actually work. So get yourself a Steam Deck, get yourself a Windows PC. It's the same kind of concept. It's nothing majorly different between the two. And you're going to need also a hacked 3DS console for this to work as well. Now, there is some paid services out there on Patreon, I guess, that allows you to buy the certificate keys and stuff like that we have to actually dump from this console. But I highly recommend you just to get a 3DS, hack it, and then get all the actual certs from it and use it the way it is. However, let's jump in. Let's start downloading the necessary files. So we're going to need, obviously, Citra for Linux, which is going to be this app image down here. So the Citra-Linux app image.7z file. So click on it. Now, I'm in desktop mode on my Steam Deck, so I'm able to actually click things and use my mouse and all that fun jazz. So there it is, downloading. The next thing we're going to download is the CT Cert Dumper tool. Now, this is also provided by Pablo MK7, and we're going to download the .3dsx file right here because this is a file that downloads a certain file directly off of our actual 3DS console. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to download the Pretendo Nimbus CIA zip file. So this one's a CIA zip file .1.6.1. So download that. There we go. Now that that's downloaded, if you get any errors right here saying, oh, this file seems unverified or not correct or whatever, then please do just say download unverified file. The next thing you could download is the 3DS recovery tool. It's not necessary, but you can download this as well. And then the last item that we're going to download is the dumpkeys.gm9. This is actually a file that I had to host off my personal database because this was a file that was actually part of my scripts file already on my 3DS's micro SD card. Now you're going to grab your SD card from your 3DS console, whether it's a micro SD card or a regular SD card, and pop it into your Steam Deck. Now I have my micro SD card inside of this 3DS console. The newer consoles had micro SD card slots where the old one has just a regular one, but maybe you have an adapter that has a micro SD card in it, which a lot of people ended up doing, so that you can actually plug this into a little dongle adapter like this. So that's what I'm going to do so I can plug it directly into my Steam Deck. So now I've plugged this little micro SD card into my little adapter, which allows me to actually see the files on my Steam Deck. Now I've plugged it into my actual Steam Deck, and I'm going to open up a separate window so that I can just copy the necessary files to the Steam Deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to our file browser. I'm going to press the left trigger and go to open new window. Now I'm going to navigate into my actual SD card. I've named this one Pinky 3DS because this is my Pinky 3DS that I named it. I don't know why I called it that. Now I'm going to navigate into the 3DS folder, and I'm going to copy a certain file in here. That file is going to be the CT Cert Dumper. So I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to click copy with my right trigger, and I'm going to go back into that folder and paste that file in here. So paste one file just like so. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate back to the root directory of my actual SD card for my 3DS. And I'm going to navigate into the GM9 folder. So right click on the GM9 folder to open it up. Double click on the scripts folder to open that up. And we're going to go back into our downloads folder. And we're going to grab the dumpkeys.gm9 file. So right click and copy. Now paste it into the scripts folder. There we go. Now we're set up to actually pop the micro SD card back into our 3DS console. So now I'm going to unplug my micro SD card out of my Steam Deck, and I'm going to plug it into my 3DS. So let's plug that into there, and let's turn on the 3DS. Don't hold down the start button or anything. We're not going into God Mode 9 just yet. We're actually just going to navigate to the main home menu. Okay, now I'm at the main home menu. We're going to navigate to wherever your homebrew launcher is. Mine is in a folder called homebrew, and there's my homebrew launcher right there. So open that up. Now on the bottom screen, navigate all the way down until you see that program called CT Cert Dumper. Press A on it and wait for it to do its thing. Now it says dumping CT Cert success at the top. CT Cert .bin dump to the SD card, which is at the root of your SD card. Do not share this file with anybody. Of course, some people do this just because they are selling these to other people. So let's press the power button and hold it down so that we can power off the console, because we're going to boot into God Mode 9. Now, while holding start button, press the start button and press the power button once. And now we are in God Mode 9. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to sysnan, so press the D-pad down, sysnan CTRNAN, press A. Navigate down to RW, which is read-write. Navigate down to sys, which is SYS. And you're going to see different codes in here. One's going to be local friend code seed. The other one is going to be secure info. Now you're going to copy the same letter, which is going to be either A or B. I don't know why I have a C one in here, but there should only be an A or B. So there should be local friend code seed A or a B, and there should only be a secure info B or an A. So you're going to copy those. What I mean by that literally is just, if yours says local friend code seed A, then copy that file, and it's going to copy it to the out folder of the GM9 folder. If you press A, go all the way down to copy to GM9 out. Press A again, do the same thing for secure info B, copy to GM9 out, and there we go. Now that's copied over to our GM9 out folder. The next thing we're going to do is go all the way back, Now press the home button, go down to where it says scripts on the bottom screen, and you're going to click A on dump keys. Shut down your 3DS console and unplug your micro SD card, because we're going to finalize this entire process on the Steam Deck. Now we're going to plug in our micro SD card back into our little adapter, or however you plug it in, and plug it back into our Steam Deck. Now we're going to navigate into our Pinky 3DS, or your 3DS SD card folder. You're going to grab those files that we just copied over to our SD card. So we're going to grab the ctcert.bin file. So right click on it, click copy. And I'm going to actually copy it right to my documents folder just so that it's easy to find. So paste one file, navigate back into your micro SD card, or your SD card of your 3DS. You're going to navigate into that GM9 folder. You're going to grab that aeskeys.txt file. You're going to copy that somewhere safe, just basically back into my documents folder. Click back. I'm going to go to my GM9 out folder. I'm going to grab the secure info and local friends seed B files. Click copy. And I'm going to put them back into my documents folder. Now, the reason why I do it this way is because it's a little bit tedious to try to find the SD card on the Steam Deck. What I mean by that is you have to go to the media folder and the root folder, and then you have to find the actual SD card that's plugged in and all that fun jazz. This is just a faster and easier way to do this. Now you can technically just unplug your micro SD card from your Steam Deck and plug it back into your 3DS console, because you don't really need your 3DS anymore for the entire setup. So you can put that away, put it on the shelf, make it collect dust, or use it if you want to, whatever, give it to your kid. Now that we have those files copied, we're going to navigate back to our downloads folder. We have downloaded Citra at this point, and we've also downloaded Pretendo. So let's right click on the zip file for Pretendo, and we're going to click extract and extract to. Now we can extract it to just like a folder here and just press save, and it's going to actually extract 3 specific files right here. Now we can copy these files or cut them. So I'm going to cut these files and put them in my documents folder, because I know these are all the files that I'm going to be needing. Now you could organize this and make a new folder if you wanted to. So create a new folder, you know, call it Citra multiplayer stuff, I guess, or something. So Citra, you know how to spell. And then what you could do is just copy all of these files. So just drag them into here, move here. And again, this is just for organizational sake, right? So you have all your Citra files in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually right click on Citra app image, and we're going to extract the file. This is going to extract the file to a folder called head. Not sure why it calls it head, but maybe that's just the head of the folder. I don't know if that's what their mind process is. I'm just going to rename this to Citra just like so. And there we go. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to actually copy this or cut this folder and place it into my documents folder as well. Now, if you have EmuDeck set up or something, then you're going to overwrite your old Citra files, because all of these files right here are your actual Citra files to actually be able to load Citra. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to load Citra for the very first time. So we're going to open up Citra-Qt app image by double clicking, and it's going to open up a window here. Now there's no games installed or anything. A very important note to note is that you need to have the CIA game files to actually install them into Citra so that we can actually use them. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just set up Citra really quick here. I'm going to go to emulation, I'm going to go to configure, and I'm going to minimize this window a bit so that I can actually see everything. Now, for some reason, the window is weird, so if I go to controls, I can actually resize it properly. And I'm going to change my gamepad to gamepad mode instead of desktop mode. As you see on the bottom right-hand side there, it switched over. And I'm going to set up these controls. So I'm going to go clear all. I'm going to click auto map. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to press any button on this actual device. And then I'm going to press OK. The reason why I did it that way is so that I can actually go into my files, go to open Citra folder, and it'll open up a folder that we actually need access to. So you're going to navigate into the sysdata folder, and you're going to navigate back into another folder. So go back into desktop mode for a minute, right click on your file browser, open a new window. Go to your documents, go to your Citra MP folder that you created earlier, well I did at least. Right click the AES keys folder and click on copy. Navigate back to your Citra folder, which is the sysdata folder. Right click on this and paste that file in here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate back to our file, and we're going to go over to emulation. We're going to go to configure. Now I'm going to double click this again, and I'm going to go to graphics. Now I'm going to minimize this window a little bit because it does not want to save the configurations this way. So minimize this window so that we can see the OK button at the bottom. And I'm going to change all of my configurations in here and stuff like that. So my graphics, I'm going to change this to 3x resolution. I like to set it to scale force. And I'm going to go to my advanced. I'm going to go to enable async shaders. That helps a lot. And then I'm going to go to system. You can change your name here and stuff like that. But the very important thing that we have to actually enable is use LLE applets. So make sure that that's checked off. Go back down to controls again. Minimize this window again. I know it's very tedious to do this because there you go. The OK button shows up. Now we need to do another configuration in a second. So let's go back into our emulation configure folder. And you're going to minimize this window. Go to system. Minimize the window again. Not sure why the Steam Deck doesn't like to actually resize windows properly. Scroll all the way down, and you're going to install some important system files in your Nintendo servers. So we're going to go click on this drop down that says minimal and go to the old 3DS. Now select your region. Mine is USA or North America, and click the download button. Wait for it to download these files, and then you're going to do the same thing with the new 3DS files as well. Now that those files are downloaded, do the same thing again with the new 3DS. Click download and wait for it to download those necessary files. Now that those files are done, press OK. Navigate down to where it says Real Console Unique ID. So this is our unique ID for our actual console that we use, which is our Pinky 3DS in my case. Click on Choose. Navigate to your deck. Go to Documents. Citra MP is where I placed everything, and there is my secure info_B file. Click Open. The next is our local friend. Do the same thing. So local friend, open, and our CTR cert file, which is our CTR cert.bin file. Now make sure to click OK. Navigate back to your Citra home menu, and as you can see, we have some actual applets that are actually showing up here. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to install our game and our update for our game and our Pretendo file. So go to install CIA. Navigate to wherever your games are located. Mine are on a micro SD card that's in the actual device right now. So I'm going to go to computer, and I'm going to go to root. Sorry, run. It's not root, it's run. I don't know why I always think it's the root directory. That makes more sense to me, but anyways. Run, media, deck, and now there is my micro SD card right there. Emulation and my ROMs folder. And I'm going to navigate down to my 3DS folder. Now again, this is very important because your games have to be installed games on the actual device. The .3ds files that you usually are probably used to using don't work because it doesn't show up in the actual boot menu. So click open and let it install. You can see a little dialog on the bottom that shows that it's installing. Now I got to do the same thing for the actual update for this game. The reason why is because most people are probably going to be using the update or the latest version of the game. And I noticed that when it wasn't updated, it wasn't finding any matches, and I think that's why. So there we go, that's updated, and you'll be able to tell if it's to the latest update, because when we go into the actual game, which is going to be in a few minutes, we will be able to see this. So we're going to go back into install CIA, go to our deck folder, go to our documents, Citra MP, go to our CIAs, and we're going to install Nimbus. Now this is also going to be our Pretendo. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate back into our actual Citra EMU folder. We're going to navigate into our Citra EMU folder, which is right here, SDMC, and we're going to open up another window. Now, I already have a window already open, and we're going to grab the 3DS, CIAs, and Luma folders. So just basically highlight these 3 folders, right-click on them, click copy, navigate back into our 3DS folder, and we're going to paste those 3 items right there. Now you can close your windows for your actual 3DS folders, and you're going to actually go over to View. You're going to go down to where it says Debugging. You're going to go to where it says Toggle LLE Service Modules, and a little window is going to pop up on the right-hand side. So I put a text document on the screen and in the description of the video for what you need to actually checkbox here. Make sure all of these are checkbox. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because later on down the road for NetPass and stuff like that, you should have these checked off, so you don't have to worry about doing this again. Okay, now that that's all checked off, we can go back to view and we can get rid of that view again. So toggle that view off, and now it's turned off. Now the next thing I like to do after I've done all this configuration is actually exit Citra, and then I'm going to go back into Citra again. So go back into your file browser. I know I said we don't have to use that anymore. And the reason for that is because ever since Citra was a thing, I've always noticed that sometimes when you do configurations, it sometimes bugs out. But we're ready to go. We can actually jump over to our boot menu. So if we go to boot home menu and go to USA, we should be able to go online and play online. Of course, you need internet. But before we do that, I'm going to grab my adapter for the Steam Deck. This is the Steam Deck adapter. It has changed a bit, again, the iteration of the design. This is still all prototype designs. But this is actually the newest, latest kind of design with using a material called resin. So how this attaches is it basically attaches so that the fan holes on the top are not covered, and it clips onto the device, and it has little padding on the inside so that it doesn't move around and it doesn't scratch up your device. And then what happens with the actual DNA Duo, the DNA Duo just magnetizes and slides right onto it, just like so, and it can clamshell over top of the device. Now again, this is a 3D printed version of the DNA Duo. However, it's the one that I've been showcasing and sharing with you guys. The end result's going to be actually injected molded. This is the DNA Duo in a nutshell, and how you enable it, well, you will go into View, you're going to go to Screen Layout, and you're going to go to Separate Windows, just like so. So now we're going to navigate back to File. We're going to go to the boot menu and click on USA. As you can see here, there is the bottom screen at the top. So I'm going to drag this down to the bottom, and I'm going to do the vice versa with the bottom screen, obviously at the top, just like so. Now I'm going to change over to gamepad mode so that I can actually interact with the actual screen, and I can change this. I can change the actual layout and everything. Yes, this is touchscreen, so I can go to the top screen and maximize it. Click close. Now we're just going to wait. Don't actually like change the theme or try to change the theme or anything. Next, you're going to go over, you're going to unwrap your GIFs. So unwrap both of your games, and you're going to navigate into Pretendo first. So go to Pretendo, click open, click on Pretendo. Nothing's going to happen yet, and then it's just going to actually basically reboot the system. It's going to pretend that it's rebooting kind of thing, and then it's going to go back into your home menu. Now go back. Now we're going to actually create a me. So I highly recommend you to create a me. I'm going to fast forward through this part because if you don't already have a me created or something, then that's fine, but I'm going to fast forward this so that you don't have to watch me create the me. And the reason for that is because we're going to confirm that we are actually connected to the Pretendo network. Now, I forgot to set a home button. You might want to do that because now we can't get out of the actual me program or anything without actually closing down the actual system. So what I do is I'll just actually go into emulation and click stop, and then navigate back to the boot menu again and go to USA. And now I can maximize my windows again. You have to click on the window that you want to maximize, and we can navigate over to our friends list, which is up here, and press A. And there we go. As you can see, we actually have a friend code at the top. If you want to use my friend code and play with me sometime, then go ahead and do so. Now we're back at the home menu. Let's go over to Mario Kart and let's jump online. As you can see, emulation has so many more advantages than playing on original hardware. You can play on a device that actually feels good to play on. You can play on a device that makes the games actually look good. And as you can see, online multiplayer version 1.2, that's the latest version of Mario Kart 7. Now we're connecting to the internet. So if you don't get a connection right away, that means that you've done something wrong. Maybe follow the guide again. Otherwise, we should be able to connect to the internet as soon as possible here and actually play online with maybe somebody that's actually playing. If there is anybody online, that is, it is during the day of a weekday, so there might not be anybody actually playing, who knows. But let's try it out. Let's see if we can search for some players and play some 3DS multiplayer using our Steam Deck, using Citra in 2025. And there you go. As you can see, we found some players. We're actually going to play online in a few minutes. So there's me, Bobo, Nuche, Lorez, Sendies, Tussi. Maybe you guys came to the channel and actually saw this video. Who knows? I'm not sure who these people are, but these are people that we found online, and we can play 3DS emulation with the DNA Duo. Now, I don't have the speakers installed on the actual DNA Duo right now. This is just the speakers that are inside of the device, so I'm going to switch them over. And there it is. We're live waiting for our game. If you don't remember on your actual 3DS, if you jump into like a multiplayer game, you had to wait for the other level to actually be done. But there it is. We're online. We're playing Citra Mario Kart 7 on our Steam Deck. This is the same process as the PC handheld, so like your Asus Rogue Ally, your Legion Go, stuff like that, and we can play online, which is freaking awesome. So what a great way to start 2025, January 2nd. Yes, this is January 2nd. I had to refilm this like 4 times because I don't know why. Anyways, have a nice day, guys. Love you all. See you next time. I'm gonna go play Mario Kart 7 and play online with some people that I don't even know, but it makes it a lot better because you don't have to play by yourself anymore. As always, see you next time, and signing off with a hello. Just kidding. This is for you, Game Tech Talk.